YouTube, what's up? Back again for another daily fishing video here on Andrew Upshaw Fishing. Guys, today we're going to talk about a couple different things. First off, we're going to talk about what's been going on with me, why you haven't seen as many videos as of late. There is a reason, actually. And we're going to talk about that. But we're also going to talk about something that's going on in the industry right now. There was a video made last week by Zaldain and Lowen, and there's been just an absolute uproar about what is going on with the rookies and everything that's going on there. So we're going to touch on that a little bit. We're going to touch on what's going on. But hey, real fast, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure y'all do that. It's in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. Alright guys, so let's dive on into this. So, what's going on with me? A little over a week ago, maybe, actually probably more than a week ago, I started getting some pain in my, upper stomach around that range, trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Been in and out of the hospital with a bunch of scans, a lot of tests, trying to figure out what's going on. Actually probably going to have my gallbladder taken out here pretty quick. Had a lot of intestinal issues. Been pretty rough. About a week and a half or so, but so we're dealing with all that. We should know something by tomorrow, but the real reason I made this video was mainly for what is going on with the Zaldain, Lowen rookie situation. I watched almost all of Zaldain's video. I didn't watch the whole thing. It's like an hour and a half long. I watched quite a bit of Zaldain's video. Saw Logan's Parks made a post. Milliken made a post about it, about rules changing, things like that. But one thing is for sure is there's definitely something going on. Now, whether or not you agree with it or not, it's irrelevant. But the elites are in a really weird spot right now. So you got rookies that came on last year. Some have been insanely successful, and people want to equate it to forward-facing sonar. They want to equate it to buying waypoints. They want to, equate it to getting information. And I do want to clarify, getting waypoints and getting information is two different things, but it's along the same lines. It's info, so whatever. And talking about a big loophole in fishing, or at least what the rules were for this past season coming into the Elite Series. So just to give you a little bit of clarity of what's going on, there's basically a rule. There wasn't a rule in place where, as long as the angler hadn't made the Elite Series yet, they obviously already knew the schedule. But technically speaking, they could get as much info as they wanted before they made the Elite Series. That's the truth. And there's, whether right or wrong, hating on a group of guys because they took advantage of the fact that almost all rookie class, if y'all look back in history of the Bassmaster Elite Series and the rookie class notoriously has maybe one or two guys that stick around more than 5 years, right? For the most part, rookies come in for 1 or 2 years and they're out after 2 years. Well, that's not the case right now, because the rookies right now are kicking some teeth in. Now, don't get me wrong, there's probably a couple that aren't having the season that they'd like to have so far, and that's just fishing. But those same anglers that aren't doing as well are getting lumped in a category of cheating. We're just going to call it what it is. What people, or at least what the elite anglers are calling it, is cheating, even though they're following the rules. I don't know. It's kind of a weird, sketchy situation. I'm going to tell you right now, the old heads at Bassmaster, MLF too. It's not just a Bassmaster thing. The old heads that are fishing are worried. They're not catching them as good. Some are. Zaldain's doing well. There's a couple anglers doing really good. And then there's some anglers doing really, really bad. Fishing is evolving significantly right now. Using forward-facing sonar, there's so many applications for it that we still don't even know of right now. And And that's what's so crazy, is there's still so much to learn about what is going on. Will it ever revert back? History tells us that it will never revert back. It will never go backwards. It will always move forward. I give you a lot of different circumstances. The only time I have seen a true ban of anything, technology-wise, or really bait-wise, is, the Alabama rigging, when they banned that. Are we going to see us go backwards? No. We're not going backwards, guys. I don't care what anybody says. The only way anything changes, the only way that forward-facing sonar goes away, is if the states and federal government ban it in certain states, or nationally. I mean, it just kind of depends on what we're dealing with. That's the only way. Okay, so as far as tournament trails getting rid of it, yeah, there's going to be some tournament trails here and there to get rid of it, but for the Elite Series, and especially Major League Fishing, I do not foresee it going away anytime soon. So, we're on a case right now. The Elite Series anglers, the old heads of the Elite Series, are not happy. They aren't. There's a lot of really upset anglers right now because they are not cashing checks. And it costs money to fish the Elite Series beyond what some people may think. And some people may think that every one of these guys has $100,000, $200,000 deals, and that's not the case either. Fishing at that level is a different animal. The one thing that perturbed me is the response I've seen. I'm going to tell you guys, like right now our industry is so ridiculously split. We've got guys that are in full support of the rookies. We've got guys that are in full support of banning technology, and there's really not very much middle ground. And not very many people can agree. I mean, just go look at Zaldain's comments from the video, from his last post that he made on social media. He is getting shredded apart for, lumping people. I mean, and that's the age of the podcast too, though. I mean, the title was a little bit clickbaity, which that's what podcast titles are, and social media titles. Heck, I might even have one on here just to really piss somebody off. But at the end of the day, the rookies are, I'm just going to be completely honest with you, I don't think the rookies are being treated very well right now. And I'm not even just saying by the general public, I'm saying by the other elite anglers. I've heard a lot of grumblings and I've had guys come to me and tell me some of the things that have been going on, and I'm going to quite frankly say it's not right. Grown men treating people the way that they are because they're angry and they're frustrated that forward-facing sonar, and this guy's, all he does is scope all day. He is following the rules, and until that changes, he can go scope all day if he wants to. Some of these rookies are really young, okay? I mean, they're technically, I guess, men. Some of them are kids. That's the way I look at them. I mean, if you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you're a kid. But, I feel like a better way forward there is to take them under your wing and teach them the right way and the wrong way to handle business. But, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, you want to talk about boats fishing next to each other, doing all this stuff? You know where all these young guys learned how to fish next to each other and have no respect on the water? Ding, ding, ding. The Bassmaster Elite Series and the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour. When they would line up boat to boat to boat to boat, and everybody thought, hey, you know what? I can just pull up next to somebody and fish. Look at this. Where do you think they learned this? Be better yourself. Don't just point the finger at everybody else and say they're wrong. Because I'm going to tell you right now, guys. Let's say, for instance, they ban forward-facing sonar. Or let's just say they limit forward-facing sonar. The same guys are still going to catch them. Okay? Let's say, for instance, when they limit forward-facing sonar and the same guys still catch them, then what are the complaints going to be? I'm curious, because is it going to be an info thing? Because obviously the incoming open anglers, they're going to set the rules back to the Bassmaster Elite Series to match the Bassmaster Elite Series. So the EQ anglers will have to follow the same rules moving forward in 2025. So I mean, is that really going to change it? I mean, are these guys not going to be able to catch them, going to be able to catch them, whatever it is? We can talk about gray areas all we want to. At the end of the day, you know, let's just say, for instance, you know, somebody that has gotten information before, you know, 4 months before a tournament. You know how often, truly, how often information 4 months before a tournament actually applies? Very minimally. I mean, when I go out on a limb and say that, like, I've had info from like 5-6 months before a tournament and water levels are 20 foot different. What are you going to do with that? So, let's just say all these, I'm not even going to say all, because I'm dang sure not going to lump all these anglers in the same category. Let's just say a handful of anglers went out and got dozens and dozens and thousands of waypoints on all of these lakes, rivers, and bays, and all these places 10 months ago, or whenever they qualified. October, I think, was when it was. Okay? And they're still catching them today. I have to wonder, truly, how much that info is really working right now. I would dare to say very little. Now, I will say this about the rookie class, and this is something I personally witnessed fishing against them on the opens and the EQs last season, is those dudes with pre-practice, they'd work harder than everyone. Okay? There was never a shortage of working hard or outworking people, or in some cases getting information and using said information to be successful. I'm not saying that all the rookies are innocent, but I'm also not saying all the rookies are guilty. Unfortunately speaking, for the sake of Zaldain, I feel like the title that he used probably did skew some the wrong way. And that's just the nature of YouTube and podcasts and things like that. He actually has a pretty interesting podcast, and he has some pretty cool guests on there too. So, overall, guys, that's my take on the whole situation. I do think the anglers need to be better. They need to be more open-minded. They need to understand that these are rookies. I think it's better to be nice to people than to run them into the ground. Just my take on it. And by the way, just to clarify for anybody that's going to try to make this about something that it's not, this is no way, shape, or form about Swindle and Trey McKinney's situation. That's a completely separate situation. But this is no way a shot at Swindle. This is no way a shot at Trey McKinney. And this is really not calling out any single angler, although I really thought about it, because there are some older anglers that have definitely been more vocal and been more just rude to these rookies and just in general. And I think there's better ways to go about it, whether right or wrong. This is the world we live in right now, so maybe we should all just look at ourselves in the mirror and try to be better. But guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.